Lupins. Am I right?
It's like a carpet.
Those lupins.
It looks so comfy.
It does, doesn't it?
It would be so soft.
I know. You'd come out smelling like breath. Oh, that little duck just landed.
Yeah. Mama, Jenny's gonna try throwing over you. Yes.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. This is Sylvie Moon. I have a new project for you today. Last week I promised I was going to do a tutorial, and honestly I haven't gotten around to it, mainly because I don't know how I want to format that video just yet. So I am going to take a little more time. I really want to show you how I make my own stamps, and doing a tutorial is sort of new for me, so I decided, well, let me just do a little art journaling today and show you some of the fun methods, tools, and materials that I'm enjoying using in the moment. And I brought out my stencils. You can see these are mostly unused. In fact, I think each of these are totally new stencils that I got at the thrift store. So really inexpensive. I think they were like, for all 5 of these, $1. You can find, I know these green ones you can find at Dollar Tree. But yeah, very inexpensive. And then I'm going to bring out my watercolors because I'm about to do a background on this page for you. And this book I've been working in, I did the cover and a page for you on the last couple of videos. So today I'm going to do another page. I'm not going to do a full layout. I'm going to use my watercolor brush here. This is like a really nice wide flat brush, and it's great for doing backgrounds. And I'm going to use the, oh, by the way, the cap doesn't stick to it, so that's kind of a pain in the butt. But other than that, love this brush. Holds a lot of water. And I'm going to use the green gold color in my set here. So I'm going to set that to the side and just start dipping my water brush in, which automatically drops water in, and I'm just going to brush it on. Now I'm working in this composition book. Obviously this paper is not intended for watercolor, but because it's just a book where I'm just playing and enjoying and really kind of using it as a way to just get out some emotions, process some feelings, just a way to put some color to a page, write a few words, and feel good. It helps me a lot. And so I just wanted to have a book where I didn't feel like I had to create something really special or important or finished piece or planned out, that I can just show up, open it up. I know this book cost me $1, and I can do whatever I want inside of this book, tear pages or put water all over the pages, just doing whatever I want in this book. So I really, that's one reason I like to have different types of journals, and I will definitely be sharing more of my journals and sketchbooks and things with you on the channel. But since I've been working in this one, I thought, well, I'm going to show you doing a little page. So I did 2 colors. I did that lighter yellow as the second color. And as you'll notice, a little color sticks to the brush, but that's okay. I'm just kind of wiping it off. It just does that. It'll stain them. And I'm going to go ahead and put that away. Pretty cool. I love these brushes. I have a lot of different sizes of watercolor brushes. Now this is still wet, and as you can see, when you use watercolor or any kind of markers that kind of bleed through, you're going to get bleed through on these pages. Like I said, it's not intended for water. But I do like when it dries, that kind of has that crunchy sound and feel, kind of makes it feel old. Some people don't really like that texture. I think it depends on what you're trying to accomplish and achieve, whether you like the bubbling up and getting this texture in the paper or not. Because it's so informal, I don't mind. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my letter stencil here. And I've not used this before. In fact, the method I'm going to use might be a little faulty because I'm going to use a dauber. And I'm also going to use my, it's a Distress Oxide green color that I'm using here from Ranger ink. And It's a beautiful color. I love it, pine needles. But the dauber I have is just a little big, so it's harder to do more detail work. But I'm going to do my best. If it happens to leak into the next letter, that's okay. You'll see as I work what I'm talking about here. And I'm just putting a little of that color on my dauber. And I'm going to start to tap on top of the letter that I'm trying to lay down. So there's a K. And then I'm going with the I here. And I'm kind of going on the edge of the dauber so that the paint doesn't go beyond where I'm stamping, but some of these letters I noticed I was missing and hitting the letter next to it, kind of leading in. See, there's that little extra spot, but that seemed to go just fine because I just covered it with the D here. So I'm writing kindness, or stamping in, stenciling in kindness. What I like about using the dauber is it gives a nice softer effect and a little more varied than if I was to throw paint over the top of this. Sometimes it's, you know, you can control that too, but it just, I like the softness of using the dauber and the ink pad. And putting in the 2 S's. I kind of got my method as I was going through with, you know, each letter, learning how to not make it bleed into the other letter so much. But I do need to just maybe find some smaller daubers for next time. And I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. And I thought it'd be really fun to turn this into sort of like a mantra or an affirmation. And there's a little ink left on the dauber, and it's hard for me to resist letting it just dry and washing it later. So I thought it'd be fun to just kind of daub a little bit more of that color on and just add a little more color to the background. And oh, I forgot to mention the painting I did before in black ink is kind of on the page already, you know, as starting with a little mess from the previous painting, which can be really fun, especially if you're someone who gets afraid of the white page. To start with a white page, it already had some marks on it, so I didn't feel like I was starting with something perfect. And because the black paint was leaking through from the previous painting, it kind of gave like a distressed feel. So it already kind of gave me an idea of the aesthetic of what I wanted to achieve on this particular page. And then I brought out my favorite letters here. This is a set I use very often. I use it in my bullet journal all the time for my headings, and really fallen in love with it. It's a lot like a typewriter, you know, where you can just, you get these really cool fonts and styles, letter styles. So I love this one. There's another one I have on my wish list coming soon, but the letters are a little smaller, so I like these larger letters. It's fun to have different sizes and different styles, so I'm going to be collecting those over time. But that's why the stencils are so great too, because you can get you know, a stencil with a bunch of letters for like $1 at the dollar store, versus a set like this, which might cost you up to like 15-20 bucks. I got this one for $2 at the thrift store, but you know, that's something that I just happened to see there. It wasn't like I could plan that out. I just knew when I saw it that I was getting a good deal, because I know how much these little sets cost. So I'm just stamping out in black, kindness abounds within. And once I'm done with, you know, stamping this, and by the way, I'm not trying to line this up perfectly. I'm just keeping it nice and loose and just enjoying you know, the fun process of being a little bit messy and a little sloppy, because it already has that feel, right? It already has that distressed sort of informal feel on this page. So, and that's how I like to work. I like to just kind of let the imperfections come through. And then I'm going to go in with this Tombow brush marker and give these words, or these letters and words, a little highlight with this beautiful bright red color, which I'll show you what number that is in just a moment. So you can see what number. So when you go to order a Tombow brush pen and you like this color, this is the number that you're going to want. See, there's the brush pen end, and then it comes with a fine liner tip on the other side. Both work really great. And yeah, these are some of my very favorite markers. I have a bunch of Tombows, and they last a really long time if you take care of them right. And then I'm just going to add a little bit, just for fun, just kind of loosely let the marker glide over the page, just to add a little color, a little of that bright red color. I didn't want to do too much, but just enough. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the final word here of my affirmation. So I'm adjusting things around because I was trying to decide if I wanted to add stamps or if I wanted to go ahead and add the last word, which I do. So this time I decided to try using my Prismacolor pencils, colored pencils. And I hadn't let the page dry enough, so this M kind of pilled a little bit. The paper underneath the letter M pilled a little bit, which means that the pencil picked up the paper and made it kind of bunch up. And then the E, that area was dry, so it came into its, or came, the pencil rubbed off onto the paper much easier. There wasn't pilling on that side. So, sorry about that, getting tongue-tied. Sometimes that happens. So anyways, kindness abounds within me, and that's a really nice little affirmation. You can use it as a mantra too, and repeat that over and over in your meditations. And then that color is parrot green, which is almost exactly the same color as the pine needles that I use for the word kindness, as that pine needles distress ink from Ranger line. So I thought that was kind of funny. I didn't really plan that out. I guess I was just really drawn to that color today. And then this is from a set of watercolor brush markers that I've had for years, my friends, and these last forever. I want to say that I had this set for maybe 5 years so far, and there's only one out of the whole set of, I think it's 16 colors, that dried up just a little bit. But they've really stayed nice and juicy. So I love this pumpkin orangey color here. So it's almost vermilion, but I'm using it to highlight the green letters a little bit more and make them pop. So just doing an outline around them. And then with dry brush technique, which is just running that watercolor brush as fast as I can up and down, creates sort of that dry brush effect at the bottom. And then, again, to highlight some of these letters at the top, the kindness, the letters in kindness, I thought it'd be kind of fun to do a variety this time of different types of outlines and highlights. So just having fun using the very tip of the brush marker to create the fine lines. One thing you do have to keep in mind is when you use a brush marker with bristles, because this has bristles versus the Tombow brush marker, which is a felt nib. This is a bristle nib, and it's a lot harder to control, but you can get finer lines with the bristles. So it's fun to work with, but it's a lot harder to be precise, which is okay for me in this situation. I know I've told you before, I tend to like to have kind of a messy look, and it really does make sense to have a messy look in this particular one because it is a distressed style. And then back to my Tombow markers, this time going for a green gold color, or more of like a harvest gold, I guess. Giving you the number there in case you want this. I love these gold colors. They feel very summery to me, and you know, we're not in summer just yet here, but it's definitely warming up, and we've had some warmer days, and I can see just in some of the areas a little lower elevation, they're already drying up, and this beautiful wheat color begins to emerge from the foothills. So we're still lots of green, but it's definitely getting warmer around here, so the colors are definitely going to change very soon. And this stamp is one of the stamps that I was saying that I wanted to show you how to make, because I've made this little set here below me. You can see all these different little stamps below. Those are all handmade stamps. I made those with erasers and stamp material, which I, like I said, promise to show you soon in a tutorial how to make these. They're really easy and really fun. Honestly, you might make a few mistakes with a couple, and then it's a quick learning process to use these. Honestly, it's very easy and very inexpensive, fun craft. This is a great way to really personalize your journal pages by being able to, use your own art in stamps. And that makes me want to make stickers and things like that too. So in the future, my friends, for sure. I like the way this book is turning out. I at first thought I was only going to do black and white, but I think I'm silly to think that I'm not going to want to add color at some point. I just like variety. So I really like how this turned out, and I realized that I really needed to add a date to my pages. I try to make sure to record dates on everything I do because, you know, I have a lot of sketchbooks from my past, some that I got rid of over time because they kind of fell apart, but I would take art out of them, and a lot of those, and save that art. But a lot of those don't have dates, so I don't know when certain things were made. So I mean, over the last several years, I've gotten really good about, you know, making sure to archive things correctly, putting on the dates, but I don't always remember. But I think I'm getting better at remembering that now. It's just kind of part of the process. And then I have my favorite all-time black gel pen. Talk about going back in time with this pen. In the 90s when I was in college is when I first picked up one of these Sakura jelly roll pens and just completely fell in love. This particular model, 0.8, this exact pen was my very first gel pen that I ever used. Now, that one that I was holding in my hand isn't the first one, but I'm saying the model. Because believe me, I've been through a lot of those already over the years. And then, yeah, and that's it, my friends. That's the end of the journal page for the day. You got to see a few different processes and different materials that I love and that I'm into. It's getting warm out there. I'm excited to see summer approach, but I thought maybe just adding a few clips of this beautiful spring day out here at the lake to end the video. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I shall see you next time.
Thank you.